Howdy YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Gunman. So in this video I'll be taking you guys through the first stage on the paint job on this Nissan Patrol respray. So it's a 3-stage pearl and we've got to do a bare metal respray on it. So as you can see there, I thought I'd get a bit of footage of the boys. They're just doing the remove and refit, pulling all the glass out of the doors, even all the trims off. So of course with these Patrols it is just an exterior respray. We don't do the door jams, but we did start actually doing the rear door jam just to make it so that we didn't get a paint edge, because there's a lot of coats of paint to try and get them all nice and smooth on that one edge. So I do a little bit of a step down with the blend, but we'll be going through that in the next video. This video here is just going to be bare metal and primer stages, and then we'll get up to the base coat and clear coat in the next video. So as you can see here, I'm using the orbital sander, but take note of how I'm holding it down nice and flat. Now you can do a little bit of edging it up, but I've actually got another video planned of orbital sander techniques, and that will be coming soon, so I'll be going a little bit further into that. But for now, basically, yeah, just pay attention if you are to do bare metal resprays with orbital sanders, like to strip all the paint off. It is very important that you get that technique right, because yeah, you'll sand ripples and stuff into the paint. So as I say, you can edge it up a little bit, but you've got to keep it moving. That's the basic key to it. So I'll go through that in a separate video. But after you've sanded all the paint off, go around all the edges, make sure they're scuffed up neat and no chips in it as well. Generally I just do that with a bit of 400 grit, but if there's something deeper, you may need to hit it with, say, some 320, 240 or even 180 grit. Once that's done, I like to use the spirit cleaner, so it's D845 from memory. You may have just seen it flash up on the screen. Wipe that down. So that's actually a specific metal cleaner. So it's like it's a metal prep salt. It's designed for metal, right? So yeah, give it a good double wipe. You may have also noticed that I used 2 microfibers, so I wiped it down the first wipe, the wet one, and then I got another fresh brand new clean microfiber and wiped over it all again, just to make sure you get rid of any sort of metal filings or metal shards that may have been left behind. And as you may have noticed, when I flip the microfiber cloth over, you can see a little bit of that sort of grey colour, which is indicative that there was still a little bit left over. Next up, we're going to get the edge primer down. So DP612 is the number of this primer, and I'm not a massive big fan of it. The main reason I don't particularly like edge primers is they're a bit gritty, right? They go on a bit gritty. So when you go and put the next stage on, which is what you see here, which is the 219 primer as a surfacer, so they add a little bit extra thinners when it's sprayed on like this, but I still do like to put it on with a 1.9, so 1.9 the whole way through for my primer stages, just to be clear. But yeah, the reason I'm not the biggest fan of the edge primers is because they go on a little bit gritty. Now, when I was doing a wet on wet procedure, because that's, like I said at the start, we've done quite a few little adjustments to the procedure on these Patrols, and at the start we were doing a full wet on wet procedure. So I would just go in, do all the primers, put the color down, and then we were done, right? But look, I just had enough of the dye back, the shrink back, the orange peel. So this one was actually my call. I just said to the boss, I'm like, man, look, I want to improve the quality of the paint job on these, so I've decided I'm just going to start doing a sanded procedure on these Patrols, and he didn't complain one bit. So look, we obviously would have preferred to save that little bit extra time, but yeah, for the added improvement on the quality, no one's going to complain. So yeah, what we do, we put all these primers down. So it's basically a bit of a sandwich of primers. You put the edge primer down, you then put the surfacer down, and then we put a shaded primer. So what this is here is the 201, because the car is going a white pearl. So if it was a different color, I would obviously be using a different color shaded primer. There's only one color that you just leave it with, the 219, which is the second primer there, and that's silver, because most of the other colors it's not a very good ground color for. But unfortunately, I'd only done like 1 or 2 silvers, so most of the colors do seem to be white. It's a common that will do the white, and KAD is another common one. We've done a few blacks, but there you go. This is the next stage, and I'll just do them in batches. So the reason I did that bonnet by itself is just because I was actually waiting for a job, and I said to the boys, hey, rip the bonnet off, that can get me in the booth, get me started. So here's the body of the car, all ready to be attacked. As you can see, we've got those awesome panel stands there that we can stand up on and walk the entire length of the roof, so we're not up and down constantly. They're really handy to have. But the first step is to give the cars a really good clean down. So I get wet rags, brushes, water cleaner, and all the edges. I get rid of all the dirt from underneath where the trims are, all underneath the wheel arches, all of that stuff. Give them an extensive clean. That's obviously a very important step. You don't want to be painting over dirt. You don't want to be trying to put a piece of masking up underneath your wheel arch and then it's just falling off because there's loads of dirt under there. But once that's done, I get my wire wheel with a angle grinder, with a wire wheel on it. Obviously wearing those gloves, all the PPE. Some people like to wear face shields. I'm just a glasses and air respirator type guy myself. But this leaves you with somewhat of a shiny metal, so I do actually like to either hit that with the orbital sander where you can, just to finish it off, or by hand if you can't. So I even up underneath these wheel arches, I'll get a piece of like 180 grit just to sand over the spots where I've hit with the wire wheel, because yeah, I don't know, like you probably could prime over it, but I just don't really trust it. I like the sort of more finer scratches to ensure the adhesion. Any dents or damage will be taken note of and fixed where applicable. Look, at the end of the day, we're not here to fix damage, but you know, any sort of medium, small to mediums, I just fix them. I don't even ask. So we've got the girls in the office, and you can potentially ask the customer if they want to pay extra to have extensive repairs done, but small to medium ones, I'll just bang them out. And that there is actually a pretty small repair. It turns out there was like lots of little ones on that little quarter panel in front of the petrol flap section. So there was just heaps of little ones. So rather than trying to do them individually, it's just easier sometimes to skim the entire section, and then it sands down a lot easier. So that actually wasn't as bad as what it might look. And then we're on to the etch primer. As you may have noticed there, when I was doing that little test spray, it was a touch top and bottom heavy. That generally tells you that your pressure is too high when you're getting that top and bottom heaviness. But I do trust the etch primer, so don't get me wrong when I say I don't necessarily like it. I just don't like the result of it being a little bit gritty. But the idea, like, these are acid etchers, right? So they're a two-part primer. It's not a hardener. It's like a converter, or whatever you want to call it, like an activator. It's not actually a hardener. So basically it's an acid, and it actually bites into the metal. So that's the idea. And then the 219, which is the grey primer that you see me putting on now, this is to help the chip performance. So this is what Fabian from PPG told me. He came out and he went through the procedure on these, and he's like, man, you have to do it this way. And I'm like, oh geez, I'd really like to use the 616, which is one of the epoxy thane primers. It goes down so much smoother, and then from there I would just put, say, a wet on wet procedure, but use, say, a shaded LVP primer. And he's like, nah, look, sorry, you can't do that. And I'm like, okay, no worries. I've got to do what I've got to do. We've got to do a certain procedure so that we are going to get warranty. So as you see there, it's the next step is the shaded primer, which is the white LVP 201 primer. Putting an extra couple of coats on the repaired sections because I'm going to be blocking into them. But apart from that, it's just a quick 2 coats. And I mix them up as metal sanding mode. So LVP 201 metal sanding mode. And when I'm doing the 219, which is a grey primer, that is as a surfacer. So again, if you're doing any of these jobs, I do highly recommend speak to your paint rep if he knows what he's on about, and get some advice, and just say, hey, you know, even if they might just send out a tech data sheet or a procedure, because I did have that. There's minor things that you can tweak as a painter, but there's general some things that it's like, no, to get that warranty, you've got to do it a certain way. But there you go, guys, that's about it for this video. Hopefully you did enjoy it. In the next video, we'll be doing the prep and paint work, and maybe just one more video. I don't know, we'll just see how we go with the footage. I generally like to keep my videos to around 10 minutes, so if you did enjoy watching this video and you got some value out of it, be sure to give us a big thumbs up. If you would like to support the show, be sure to go and check out the link in the description. We've still got Gunman spray suits, we've got some Gunman merchandise. Most of that ships out of Spray Guns Direct. So like I say, there's a link in the description. If you go to Spray Guns Direct, just search Gunman, and that should take you to any Gunman merchandise. Should support the show. And until next time, get out there and paint some shit. Gunman out.